Today we're going to talk about how to aid in enabling digital engineering with our systems model exchange framework. The products we're going to talk about are the publisher family of, the publisher family of products. I'm going to give you a quick introduction on who Sodius Corp is, our products, our unique value, and our roadmap. We're going to talk about the Cameo model importer for Rhapsody, the publisher for Rhapsody that'll allow you to export and publish a Cameo model from Rhapsody, publisher for Unicom System Architect, one of our newest products, Sparks Enterprise Architect, Rational Software Architect, and then a little about licensing and support. So who is Sodius Corp? For those of you that don't know, Sodius Corp is a US-based company, and we are a global leader for data transformation in both classified and non-classified environments. We also provide solutions for enterprise interoperability and model-based code generation. And our customers are primarily the US defense and aerospace, the DoD agencies themselves, and automotive. Our mission is to help enable the threat of digital engineering. All of our customers are asking for that. And we help break down the tool silos in the disciplines of ALM and PLM, model-based systems engineering, model-based engineering, requirements engineering, software engineering, test and validation. We have over 20 years of expertise in working with companies that have mission and safety critical issues. And we've been transforming systems models since 2006. So we've got a lot of experience there, and that's where we're going to focus today. The industry leaders do trust Sodius. Here's a quick snapshot of some of our customers. These are our more the larger customers. Missile Defense Agency being the largest customer that we have. NAVAIR, the Navy, the Air Force, Homeland Security, the U.S. Army, and then their suppliers, Lockheed, Boeing, Northrop, Raytheon, BAE, SAIC, L3, etc. The publisher has its commercial item description. NAVAIR sponsored us, and this is really important because what it does is it helps make it easier for systems engineers to leverage the publisher on classified programs and other DoD programs. And I took some of these words right out of the letter that we received from the Navy, and it said, and this is really cool, that it's a commercial product that enables a single source of truth data for the MQ-25 Stingray MBSE program. Those are their words. The MQ-25 is a tanker. It's a refueling drone that NAVAIR has that takes off and lands from carriers. So I was very proud that we received this a little more than a year ago. We have some customer proof points. These are a little old. Raytheon. Back when we were launching this product about 5 years ago, they had a very small model. They wanted to continue to work in Rhapsody, but their customer, the Navy, wanted them to export and publish to a Cameo model. Their deliverable needed to be a Cameo model. Small, 200 diagrams, 18,000 elements. It took 1 hour. That was 4 or 5 years ago. Now it would take about 3 minutes to do this. And there was no work to do after they published the model. The Army. This was a pretty big model back then. 37,000 files in Rhapsody UML format with 800,000 diagrams, only 800,000 elements, only 700 diagrams though. And they felt if they had to rewrite this model, it would have taken man years to rewrite. And at that time, it took less than half a day. And then Northrop Grumman, 220,000 elements, 300 diagrams. Again, I call this a small model. Total time to export and publish was about 20 minutes. So system model exchange between different modeling tools is really important. If you want to design in one tool and deliver in another because your customer mandates that, You need to be able to export and publish your model data from Cameo or Magic Draw, Rhapsody, System Architect, Spark EA, or Rational Software Architect. So until recently, there was really no solution, no comprehensive solution that you could use. You would have encountered three challenges prior to the publisher, and that they are, how do you get all those years of modeling IP exported quickly? Some of the programs that have used the publisher started, say, with Rhapsody, or actually Rose in the early 2000s, then Rhapsody in the mid 2000s, and then their customers said, well, we want to go to Cameo. So you've got 20 years of IP, and you need to move that all over to a Cameo model, and you need to do it fast. That's a challenge. How do you do it consistently and accurately for very large models? When I say very large models, I'm talking maybe 7,000 diagrams, maybe 900,000 elements. And how do you transfer all those thousands of diagrams? Those are the big challenges. So we have solutions for going from Cameo to Rhapsody and Rhapsody back to Cameo. So it's a true bi-directional workflow. We'll talk a little about that. Unicom System Architect to Cameo, Spark EA to Cameo. That's a brand new product. It's being released July. And then Rational Software Architect to Cameo. So I get this question every time I stand on stage. Why not use XMI right out of the box? XMI doesn't include the diagram layouts. That's why. And that's where 90% of the modeling work is done. That's what everybody wants to see. They want to see those diagrams. XMI doesn't map standard profiles across tool implementations. So for an example, IBM's implementation of SysML is different than the No Magic, now Dassault's Cameo implementation of SysML. XMI doesn't handle different tool implementations of the UML or XMI standards either. And we have over 40 person years of effort in the publisher family of products. That's why you don't want to use XMI out of the box. We help you save time. Bottom line, time is money. By using this kind of automation, you can get something done in minutes as opposed to person years. We maintain or improve data integrity. So your source model and your target model, we guarantee will have the same quality, but we do model checking prior to actually finishing the target export. And we come right out and say to you, there are idiosyncrasies in your source model. There are these anomalies. Do you want us to take those to the target model? How do you want us to handle those? Maybe you should do some model cleanup. So we at least preserve the integrity of the source model, and we are proud to say sometimes we help you improve that target model's quality. And because we're doing it faster, we're reducing manpower costs, it's less expensive, and you're making more money, you're saving money. I'm going to dive into the product roadmap this year, our new products in July, a lightning fast Cameo model importer for Rhapsody. We'll talk a little about that. I have a slide on that. And Spark EA to Cameo. We'll talk a little about that. In addition to that, this December, we're going to reverse the direction. Instead of just Spark EA to Cameo, Cameo to Spark EA. We've had two companies, or actually two agencies, ask us for that, and we'll be having that solution by the end of the year. And Cameo to Siemens Capital. A lot of people have been asking about that. There's a lot of excitement about that. That'll be in December. Next year, partial model export for both Rhapsody and Cameo. So if you change a block in Cameo, you don't have to export and publish the entire model, then do the diff merge on the entire model to bring it into the target tool. You only have to do the partial model import diff merge. Cameo to SysML v2. we can talk about this at the end if I have more time. Rhapsody to SysML v2. We will use IBM's implementation of SysML v2 to ensure that you take a Cameo 1.6, 1.7 SysML model and bring it into a generic SysML v2 model, and SysML v2 to Capital, to Cameo, and to Rhapsody. So that's what's coming next year. So let's dive into the Cameo model importer for Rhapsody. What it does is it simplifies the model exchange process from MagicDraw or Cameo to Rhapsody. It enables the automated import of a Cameo model, whether it's in UML, SysML, or UPDM, into Rhapsody for system, subsystem, or system to software scenarios. So on the left, you see here, you have a MagicDraw input file. You have the publisher that plugs into Rhapsody. It's a Rhapsody plugin in this particular use case. And you select the model from the publisher menu that you want to import into Rhapsody, and it automatically uses the Rhapsody API and transforms that MagicDraw model into a fully functional Cameo model, or excuse me, Rhapsody model. It's a consistent way to achieve import, export, and publish scenarios between Cameo and Rhapsody. We generate unique IDs, and we have alignment of the profiles and libraries in both directions. Why is that important? If you want to have a bidirectional workflow and you want to publish and republish, that model, when it gets published from the MagicDraw file to the Rhapsody file, the Rhapsody model will always look the same. That's why that's important. So July, we have a new lightning fast publisher for Cameo to Rhapsody model transformation engine. This is a standalone engine. You can go from Cameo to Rhapsody, and you don't need Rhapsody at all. It directly imports the source model, MagicDraw file, the md.zip. It automatically exports the target Rhapsody model file. There's no manual target model cleanup required. And because we're not using the Rhapsody API, it's a standalone engine. It reduces the model conversion times from several hours to just a few minutes for very large models. And when I say large models, hundreds of thousands of elements and thousands of diagrams. It does not require a Cameo or Rhapsody license or software or plugin or anything. So you will be able to use the old way and leverage the Rhapsody API, or you can just use this as a systems model transformation engine and have it transform a Cameo model into a Rhapsody model almost instantaneously. Here are some screenshots of the DODAF and SysML views. Cameo source models on the left, Rhapsody target models on the right. We preserve all the hierarchy elements and relationships for UPDM, architecture description, all the packages and viewpoints. We import the Cameo diagrams into Rhapsody, the structural and behavioral diagrams, and the UPDM diagrams. Here's the semantic and diagrams from Cameo to Rhapsody. Cameo on the left, Rhapsody on the right. Model elements and structure diagrams. We convert any kind of structural items, including the elements, relationships, and tag values. This example here is a class diagram of CV4. Cameo again on the left, Rhapsody on the right. Composite diagrams are supported as well. Behavioral diagrams, all the use case, activity, state, and sequence diagrams. Cameo on the top, Rhapsody on the bottom. And here's some other SysML examples. We support all the standard SysML views. I'm not going to read them to you. Cameo on the top, Rhapsody on the bottom. If you don't like the way the diagrams look, we give you levers to change them. But before we get into that, I want to talk a little about the added value of exchanging system to software models. We have a new customer. They're creating, and it's not classified, SAIC, they're creating a software factory. They want for the Army. They want to be able to do very fast virtual software prototyping. They have their system models in Cameo. They're using the publisher to create their Rhapsody SysML model. From there, they'll create a UML model in Rhapsody. They'll create all the traceability links. Then in parallel, they'll generate their software from the Rhapsody UML model. They can then export that model to track all the change requests via Jira back to that Cameo model. It's really exciting. I have another company at Hill Air Force Base that's teed up to do the same thing in a couple more months. So this is an example of the power of the publisher that I didn't talk about earlier. So let's talk about the publisher for Rhapsody now. The publisher for Rhapsody will allow you to export and publish a Cameo model from Rhapsody. All the model element structure and hierarchy, all the diagrams, maintaining layouts and colors. We log all the model transformation actions. We log it in two ways. We log it in a sanitized way, so it doesn't take any of your confidential or classified information and put it in the log. We also create a log that has all that you can use for your diagnostic use in how come the target model doesn't look exactly like the source model. We create metrics and we have good reports, and there are user configurable options. We'll talk about those in a sec. We create, we convert all the SysML structural diagrams, the block definition, internal block, package, and parametric diagrams. All the requirements diagrams are converted as well. The behavioral diagrams, the activity, sequence, state machines, and use case diagrams. As you can see, they're all converted and they look very similar. The target models look very similar to the source models. We have this user configurability. These are just little snippets of some of the levers and dials that you have to set up how you want that target model to look. You may want it to look exactly like the Rhapsody model outputs or diagrams, or you may want it to look like the native Magic Draw or Cameo, but all this stuff is in there, plus a lot more for you to fine tune how the models and how the diagrams will look once you're done. We also have a silent batch mode. Let's say you're working on a program. You've tried a couple of models, you've put them through the publisher, works really nice, but you'd like to have your program models automatically run in the evening when you're not there and not have to have somebody sit there and babysit. So basically, this batch mode, it'll open Rhapsody, it'll open the project, it'll run the Rhapsody to Magic Draw transformation, it'll close Rhapsody, it'll allow you to determine where you want the model file path, all the semantic options, diagram formatting configurations, and where you want the MD zip to go. All that you determine before you actually run this batch mode, and you can let it run. It'll run a handful or 100 automatically for you. We also have something that a couple of our customers said that they just had to have, and that's an OSLC doors next links export. So if you have Rhapsody and you have DNG, how do you get those links into your Cameo model? We have a solution for that. And bottom line, it will allow you to export your OSLC links that are in Rhapsody for DNG into a Cameo model. That's cool. That's very cool. Publisher for System Architect. System Architect is probably the second most required solution that we have. We support DODAF 2.1 to UPDM 2.1, DODAF 1.5 to UPDM, and UML to UML. The rule set includes the publisher for the following: all the model elements, structure and hierarchy, all the diagrams, again maintaining layout and colors, and we have the full logging. Here's a screenshot that shows DODAF 2.0, the capability and operational diagram examples, System Architect on the left, Magic Draw on the right. As you can see, they look very similar. The systems and services viewpoint with a logical data model examples, System Architect on the left, Magic Draw or Cameo on the right. Some UML, again, all the elements, structure, hierarchy, diagrams, and logging. I know this is a eye shot for the screen here, but basically these are all the UML diagrams. We take activity diagrams, moving from System Architect to Magic Draw, the class diagrams, collaboration diagrams, etc. All the diagrams move over. Talk about our new product, Sparks EA to Cameo. It's a brand new product. It's releasing in July of this year, and it enables Cameo model conversion from the enterprise architect models. Again, full UML, SysML support, all the structure and semantics, all the diagrams, and the custom model transformation. So here you have enterprise architect on the left, Cameo Magic Draw on the right. Basically, again, we maintain all the model elements and structure and the hierarchy. It maintains the layout, full logging, and we also support the batch mode here. So again, Enterprise Architect, Cameo, Magic Draw. And how does it work? Basically, from a project and Enterprise Architect, which requires an Enterprise Architect license in this model, or previously exported XMI 2.1 file. So you need one of those and the publisher. And basically, it will automatically create your Cameo model, and it does not require any Cameo license or software or anything like that at all. So you have two ways. You can use the EA application itself or the EA XMI file. Select that from the publisher and output a Cameo model. Now, I will say this. There's a little caveat here. Sparks EA has no SysML guardrails. Cameo does. If you've modeled things way outside the SysML guardrails, you're going to have some challenges. You're going to need to talk to us. But as long as you have modeling guidelines that are equal to or close to SysML, you won't have any challenges here. Publisher for Rational Software Architect, I'm going to fly through this one. This particular product, when it's needed, it's really needed. Models are big, 7,000 diagrams, 900,000 model elements. The Army and the Navy have been our customers here. Again, all the elements, all the structure and hierarchy, the custom profiles, incredible solution to be able to move an old model into a new environment where you can't spend years and years and years interpreting the RSA model and rewriting it into Cameo. So here's a quick shot of RSA on the left, publisher in the middle, and outputting the Cameo diagrams on the right. And although it doesn't show any of the elements, all the elements come over as well. We also have an add-on. It's the UPIA add-on. Let's talk a little about licensing and support for these publishers. So it's program-based. For an example, the MQ-25 that I talked about for NavAir. It's a Boeing NavAir program. So Boeing got a license, NavAir got a license. The license is tied to the MQ-25. If they wanted to use that, say, on the Barracuda program that the Navy has for an autonomous torpedo that goes out and looks for sea mines, if the Navy wanted to do that, they can't do that. So it's licensed to a specific program. To keep costs down, we have 1-year term. You can renew it as many years as you want, or a lot of these classified programs need perpetual licenses. About a third of our sales are perpetual licenses. The rest are 1-year term. They all come in floating or node lock. It's your choice. There's no price difference. Whatever you want, you tell our licensing team. Typically, I see floating and non-classified environments, and I see node lock and classified environments. So again, it's designed for use in both secure and non-secure lab environments. We also have enterprise or non-restricted licensing that is not program-based. We encourage you to try it before you buy it. We really, really want you to do that. It's the exact same software, the evaluation software. It's the only difference is the license that we give you puts a watermark on the diagrams that says for evaluation purposes. You don't need a network connection to use the software. You have all those user configurable adjustments. You can save them as your personal preferences or your team's preferences. Of course, you can see the actual model exported in Cameo or Rhapsody file formats. You can manipulate the new model accordingly. It's a fully functional model. We have online technical support 24/7, online user documentation, knowledge base articles, software download portals, etc. Now, what's the value? The value is the ability to export and publish very large models, including the diagrams. The biggest model that we did was Ford. They successfully exchanged 12,000 diagrams and 900,000 model elements. My gosh, who would create a model that big? I can't imagine, but Ford did. It worked. They're very happy, and I'm happy. There's no manual work or cleanup due to the publisher because of all the user configurable settings and display stylings. So you might need to run your model through the publisher a few times, tweak the display settings and the user configurable settings the way you want them, and out comes your target model. Model checking is implemented. I talked a little about that earlier to identify, log, and report inconsistencies in the source model that could cause rework or cleanup in the target model. So we alert you, but we don't tell you you have to change anything in your target model. We just tell you there are some inconsistencies in your source model. You may want to go look at that. The models can be changed after the publish and export. Again, they're fully functional models, and they're the same form and function, but in a different tool. That's it for me. With that, I'm going to wrap it up on my end, and I'll let Tom and Alexia terminate the webinar.